Jim Harbaugh and what he has done the last 3 years, pretty remarkable, right? And I know there are people out there that, are saying that I don't want to talk about any of that stuff. All I want to talk about is what Michigan and Harbaugh have done. I've been watching a lot of Fargo. Have you noticed? Because I start a thought and then don't finish the sentence, but you know what I was going to say. Have you watched Fargo? Oh, geez. Oh, for
I've watched.
Pete's sake. Yeah.
I don't watch it consistently, but yes. Yeah, dude, got the mug off his back. Like, he was 1-6 in bowl games coming in, lost 6 straight bowl games, was 0-2 in the semifinals. And I said, like, look, if he loses this game, we're going to talk about him like Lincoln Riley, the guy who can get you there and can't get you over the hump. And he did it. Look, like, plain and simple, they had the better team, and everything he said that they would be able to do, running the ball, winning in the trenches, they did. It's crazy to look back at that 2020 season, the last time Alabama won a championship, and that Michigan-Ohio State game gets canceled because of COVID. And Jim Harbaugh is on the verge of getting fired. If that game happens and they lose that game, it's possible he does get fired.
Listen, Chris, that Michigan team tapped out and gave up.
Yeah.
It was bad there.
He completely overhauls the staff, brings in a ton of young guys. And since then, it's been 3 straight college football playoff appearances, 3 straight Ohio State wins, 3 straight Big Ten championships. And it's remarkable. And, does he go to the NFL after this? I don't know. Nobody really knows with him, but he needed this in a big, big way, because now nobody can say, hey, they choke in the big one. They beat Alabama in the semifinal in the Rose Bowl. Like, we're like, none of that other stuff now. Like, he did it. Like, I don't want to say Michigan's playing with house money here. It'll still be a disappointment, a major disappointment, I think, if they don't win. But if Jim Harbaugh continues at Michigan, regardless of what happens in the championship game, we will talk about him differently now than we have the last 2 years.
How many coaches have coached
the previous 6 years
in a national championship game and a Super Bowl? Like, is he?
Well,
is there other ones?
Pete Carroll did.
Did
the BCS. He won both. Jimmy Johnson won both, but they didn't have a national championship game back then. Barry Switzer also did both, but again, not a national championship game back then. So at least 3 that I saw have won a national championship and a Super Bowl. Won both. Harbaugh didn't win a Super Bowl, but yes, to get to both is a remarkable accomplishment.
And I think that we know that Jim Harbaugh, his legacy is going to be complicated. And I don't know when that legacy at Michigan is going to end. It could be in 3 weeks, or it could be in 20 years. Like, I don't know. But he is an interesting person. He has been suspended twice this year for 2 different things. And I don't know how many other coaches have done that, while also being the most beloved coach that has complete and utter support from his university president and fan base and team. And they're winning. And I guess as you win, we're not talking about the stuff that we were talking about in November. And
I will say,
so.
Yeah, I don't think Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, or Barry Switzer sued their conference in the same year that they played for a national championship. So that is new territory for sure. But yeah, man, like, that dude is Michigan to a T. He always has been. He gets it done. And I don't like, we haven't even said it. Like, I hope we're done with the Connor Stallions sign stealing stuff now. Like, yes, the investigation is going on. Yes, there will be some NCAA penalties, what have you. But I think we can now for sure officially say, like, they weren't winning games because of Connor Stallions. Like, they just beat Alabama. Connor Stallions was not on the sideline. Like, Michigan is legit. You can still be upset about it. You can still think they need to be penalized for it. But this notion that was around that, oh, Michigan suddenly got good because Connor Stallions joined the staff. And, like, no, this is a really good team full of NFL players, and that's what they proved in this game.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a tweet during the game about Senior Bowl potential numbers here. And this is Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl. He is the director of the bowl that had NFL draft analysts breaking down players that are going to be playing in this game and how many, draft eligible prospects they have and stuff. Alabama has 9 total draft picks. Michigan has 14. Hook 'em, Texas Longhorns have 11, and Washington has 10. So Michigan going into the game, despite being one of the bottom 2 in the 247 Sport composite ranking, also has the most draftable players, which is what the story that Bruce Feldman wrote at the beginning of the year, saying Michigan can do it for this reason. Now, I think there should be a distinction about what day you're picked on. And day 1, Alabama has 3 and Michigan had 1. Day 2, Alabama has 3 and Michigan has 5. Those are projections, but I think they're telling that Michigan still was able to do that. So this is an interesting thing, too, that we have to say about Alabama. I think kudos to Nick Saban for what he was able to do this year. I think that this team was inherently flawed from the beginning, and they were able to rise up and get to this point, despite the fact that it seemed almost dysfunctional earlier in the year. And this is the first 3-year period since 2006 to 2008 that Alabama has not won a national championship.